What is going on, everybody? It's your observant lineman here, Uche Nwaneri. Obviously, got some very sad news to bring you guys here to talk about. Dwayne Haskins, quarterback with the Pittsburgh Steelers, drafted in the first round out of the Ohio State University to the Washington football team at the time, now the Washington Commanders, has just passed away. Now, this news has broke over the last few hours in the NFL. Obviously, this is a tragic situation for not only the NFL, but obviously for Dwayne Haskins' family, friends, people connected to him. Very tragic situation. Has been fluid since the news broke, as details are coming out a little bit about the situation at hand. But we are now able to confirm that he passed away on the scene. I'd like to offer my condolences, obviously, to Dwayne Haskins' family and to not only the Steelers and their organization who has to deal with this right now, but also the Commanders, because they're the ones who drafted him out of Ohio State. Also to Ohio State and, you know, the many people that he's dealt with in his life. Obviously, I want to offer my condolences to all of them, first and foremost. But we've gotten some details that have come out about the situation in the meantime. As you can see here, TMZ reported this this morning. Dead at 24 after being struck by a dump truck. Now, that is clearly a very tragic and horrible situation to be caught in. But we'll go through this article and we'll talk about it. And then we got some other things we'll talk about in regards to the situation as a whole that I cannot continue to make this video without addressing those, a couple of things that we'll get to here in a moment. But it says, this was updated 10:35. Florida Highway Patrol are shedding more light on the circumstances surrounding the tragic death of Dwayne Haskins. It says here, Mr. Haskins was walking on a limited access facility, highway or an expressway, for unknown reasons. He was attempting to cross the westbound lanes of Interstate 595 when there was oncoming traffic. Unfortunately, he collided with an oncoming dump truck. Mr. Haskins was pronounced dead on the scene, the agency announced Saturday morning. Police say they're in the process of conducting a traffic homicide investigation. So right there, there is the details that kind of fill us in on what actually happened to Dwayne here. And again, it's hard to deal with these kinds of things when it's people who are so young in age. He's 24 years old. He's about to be 25. And, life is short. Life is very short. We all take advantage of the fact that we're here, that we're simply breathing, when it can be over in a heartbeat. And I think that really cannot be overstated when you talk about, just our everyday awareness and enjoying the moments we have, because you never know. Recently, he'd been married, and there was a number of things that were going on in his life that led you to believe that he was looking to mature and to truly begin to try and live up to the expectations of a first-round draft pick. There was talk that he would be competing for the starting job in Pittsburgh this year. All in all, it appeared that he was trying to turn things around. He was in South Florida working out with Mitch Trubisky and other Pittsburgh Steelers teammates in order to get ready for the coming football season. So this was actually a situation that will immediately impact guys he was in that area working out with. He's there one day and he's gone the next, and that's a very shocking thing to have to deal with. So here's a picture of Haskins coming over to Joe Burrow. This was during Joe Burrow's rookie season when he tore his ACL. Joe Burrow, Chase, the defensive end, a lot of his former Ohio State teammates coming over to him to show support for him, because he's just been injured. He's going to be done for the season, knee injury. That this is the kind of brotherhood that the sport creates. This is why there is this is why you don't see things like, racism in a sport like football amongst the players in the locker room. It can't exist. For a team to be able to thrive and to achieve its goals and to live up to its potential, everyone has to trust everyone. Everyone has to work with everyone, and these are people that you go through hell and high water with. So they become family to you. They're your extended family. And these are things that break down those barriers like racism, like discrimination. So, this is not any different for a guy like Dwayne Haskins when it came to him and how he operated with his teammates. And while, there were moments of him struggling as a player to find that maturity, you begin to see through flashes like this here where a guy is beginning to figure it out. And I think that that's what was happening with Dwayne, prior to this accident taking his life. So it's good to see that he was actually, moving towards the right path. He just got married, apparently. And, he obviously he has kids. So definitely was looking to actually, work towards being the best version of himself that he could be, out in South Florida in April with your teammates, training. That's what you want from your players. That's what a mature player does. They begin to come back to the nest and work with other players very early on, before most guys are even required to be back. But I also want to talk about a little situation here from Barstool's OSU. Barstool's OSU, they post here, and again, this to me is, indicative of the lack of self-awareness that some people in media, whether they've been affiliated with football in the past or not, it just goes to show the callousness that some of these people have. So Gil Brandt was asked on NFL radio today to say a few words about Dwayne Haskins. He said, quote, "He was living to be dead. Quote, it was always something with him. Quote, maybe if he stayed in school, he wouldn't do silly things on a highway." Gil Brandt is a piece of shit. Now, one might think, hey, well, what about the context of these statements? Where is the context to kind of give us a full understanding of what was going on during this interview? Well, we have the interview right here. So we're going to listen to it, and then I'll give you my quick thoughts on it after the fact.
Got to know the young man a little bit, but also from a scouting standpoint, you analyzed him over the years at Ohio State and then coming into the league with the Washington Commanders and then going to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Obviously, it's a terrible tragedy, and what wanted your thoughts on that, and also on the player, because you did chronicle his career very closely.
Well, Dan, I hate anytime anybody is killed or anybody dies. But he was a guy that was living to be dead, so to speak. They told him, don't under any circumstances leave school early.
Excuse me? He was living to be dead, so to speak. What a piece of shit. Who says that? Less than 10 hours after a young man has lost his life. Not even a day. You're speaking down on the dead? Like, who the fuck is this guy?
Circumstances leave school early. You just don't have the work habits. You don't have this. You don't have that. What did he do? Left school early. I always can remember this. We invited players to the draft, and he was one of the players we invited to the draft. And we were told, no, we're going to have our own party. His own party was a party at the bowling alley, charged him $50 to get into the bowling alley for his party. It was always something, It's one of those things. I'm never offside, but they keep calling me for offside.
I don't understand what the fuck he is talking about. Why are you talking down on a man who clearly was working at his craft, was exhibiting the work ethic that you want from a player? at this level of football. What is this guy talking about? Who is Gil Brandt? We're going to dive into that real quickly after this. This is beyond ridiculous. This is insensitivity. This is, I would say, maybe this guy felt slighted by the fact that Dwayne Haskins turned down going to the NFL draft in order to celebrate his accomplishments with people that he actually cared about in his own way. And he's charging people $50 to get in. So what? How much did the NFL charge people to attend the NFL draft? I'm sure much more than $50. So please, let's keep the hypocrisy to a minimum. But even aside from that, the level of utter disrespect he seems to be exhibiting is just beyond disgusting to me. Fuck Gil Brandt. And tell him I said it.
That's what it is. So, it's a tragic thing. Anytime anybody dies, it's tragic. And especially when you're 24 years old and you got your whole life ahead of you. Maybe if he'd have stayed in school a year, he wouldn't do silly things. I mean, when you're jogging on a highway, on a road like that, that leaves it open because I tell you, it's so. Guy has 2 drinks and he's just a little bit to the right side of the road and gets hit and killed. It's easy to happen.
Yeah, there's nothing that this guy can really say talking about this particular comment from Gil Brandt because, I mean, okay, here he is. Man, you know what? I hate people like this. Where is he? So this must be, let me see. This must be him. Oh, yes, it is him. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I can tell you right now. This guy, so out of touch because he's old fucking fart who doesn't, really represent anything in way of the public discourse when it comes to talking about players who are, 24-year-old, new generation players who he has no ability to relate to because he was a VP of player personnel for the Cowboys from 1960 to 1989. So, let's be real here. This is not a guy who actually gets it when it comes to our generation of athletes. He's not that guy. He's not that guy. So I guess to a certain extent, his ignorance and, his very bad take kind of line, with what kind of person this guy is. So not really going to give too much more time or weight to Gil Brandt because it seems like a senile old bastard is going to be a senile old bastard. Now, this was the video that Dwayne Haskins posted. Him and Najee Harris. It says here, Dwayne Haskins just posted this video having fun and joking around yesterday. It's a reminder of how fragile life is.
Is that Najee Harris? Can I have your autograph, please? You're Burberry? You have money on. Oh my God. Rub your chest. Peace. Step on them motherfuckers. Yeah. Is that Najee Harris?
Life is short, man. And it's sad. And it's very sobering to see this kind of thing happen to a guy who has so much more in front of him, not only as an athlete, but as a man. So definitely my condolences again to Dwayne Haskins and his family because this is going to be something that's going to affect them, obviously, for the rest of their lives. And I hope that they can find some peace of mind and heal from this. But it's a time for grieving right now in the NFL for Dwayne Haskins and his family and the people who are close to him. So I'd just like to send out those thoughts to them just to wrap this video up. But I do appreciate everybody for being in here. Make sure you hit that like button if you haven't already done so. Subscribe to the Observant Lineman Uche Nwaneri. I appreciate you guys very much, and I will catch you all on the next one. Peace.